everybody. Sorry I am later than usual. I posted a message earlier today letting people know that I would be going on late. I thought I would be able to make it by 9:45, but I was still on the road at that time. Let me go ahead and share this in the group. We may not have very many people tonight because it's Sunday and a lot of people have to get up early and take kids to school and go to work, but you know I'm gonna still tune in and do my part. So this is day 28. I'm gonna tag a couple of people. Hold on. Let me let my regulars know, just in case. Okay, so hey, all right, so first let me offer an explanation. So today I had a plan for my day, and I was in a meeting and my dad was attending the meeting, and he came in and let me know I had a flat tire, so that's always a joy. So I had to stop what I was doing, work with him to get that situated, and hopefully I'm good to go. With the vehicle that I have, there is no spare. So a flat tire, what may be a, maybe half an hour to an hour situation for the average car, the car that I'm in, it becomes like a whole week before I get the issue resolved. So, but anyway, so everything that I had planned today kind of got pushed back by like 90 minutes, 2 hours, basically. So anyway, I apologize. Hello. It's funny if I have more people watching now, I think maybe people do better later at night. Maybe because the kids are in bed or all your shows have gone off or whatever. I don't know. But so we're talking about money management today. But before I do that, let me ask you to like the video and share the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. I would really appreciate that. Hey. Okay. And let's see. Acknowledgements. I said yesterday I found out something that I thought was fascinating, and that's one of my buddies. Her name is Roxanne Galloway. We call her Roxy. She crochets and can make dresses and different things, and she made a business out of it. And I was like, oh girl, why didn't you tell me? So I was like, I'm going to shout you out tomorrow, and I remembered. So I want to shout out Roxanne Galloway. I'm not sure if she has a formal website or anything, but if I find out the information, I'll try to do a post with that information. What I'll probably do is try to think of most of the people that I've shouted out and try to get as much information from them as possible, and then maybe compile just put everybody's information out, because usually I forget to do it at the end of the broadcast. So Roxy, congratulations, and great idea with that. Your work is beautiful. It's really nice to actually have handcrafted things. That's what I love about compliment jewelry. It's just, someone, actual human being actually making something. It's sometimes it's hard to find that. So please support Roxy with that, please. Okay, the goal check-in. Basically, I think I told people to message me and let me know if there are any topics they want me to talk about, because it's day 28, so we only have tonight and 2 more nights left with the Boss Up Challenge. So I want to make sure that these last 3 days are meaningful and that you all get information that you want, okay? So the goal was to send me information and also to assess how you've been doing so far with the challenge, what you've gotten out of it, and what you would still like to get, and also any feedback from me. So I did have someone inbox me that they would like to talk more in depth about money management and how to save money and how to be more responsible so that you can be in a position to have capital. So when you have a business idea, you can actually do it without having to worry about, not having the money to do it or having to wait for somebody else to fund you. you don't really want to have to wait for other people to be willing to give you money, or you at least want to show people that you've put some of your own money in. And a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. So then how do you get the money together to start a business? A lot of people feel like, oh, well, I can't do my thing because I can't get a small business loan, or I don't have a lump sum, or I don't have a trust fund. You know, it's a lot of excuses, and a lot of them are valid. But what I'm here to share is that there can be some simple things that you do in your daily life that will help you to be more frugal and to start saving money. Okay, so some of the things that you want to consider. See, saving money to me is like making money, because when you save money, it's like you have more money. It feels like you made money. So it's important to think about all the ways that you can cut corners and save money. Some of the things you can do: be mindful of how you're spending and what you're purchasing. Be mindful of those little things, the swipes that are only like $12 here, $15 there, $7 here. Be mindful of those, and be mindful of like your daily habits that can add up to be costly. So cigarette habits, if you got a weed habit, if you like to drink at happy hour or get yourself a bottle, Starbucks, or all these lovely little lunch spots where, you know, you go to work, you work an 8-hour day, you don't pack a lunch, so now you have to end up spending money at one of these places where to get something is like, you know, before you know it, right when you get your lunch and a drink, you've spent $15 easily, like if you're downtown. Just those kind of things. Being mindful of that, because when you add that up, that money really can accrue and be more than what you imagine if you were to save that money. I know this because I've been on both ends of these type of spending habits. I've been on the spending just as you want, frivolously, and then I've learned how to be on the, you know, I act like I'm broke even when I have money. Weed habit. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. You know. I mean, some people need to fit that into their budget, because without it, you know, they wouldn't be good to go. But if you can, you know, cut back or whatever, you know, that is something. It's almost like paying for your medication, your prescriptions, and all of that. But if you really don't need it, if it's not really to help you to function, and you're just trying to get high as a kite, you might want to consider cutting out that habit for more than one reason, not just money. But we're not going to get into the cognitive part of that this evening. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay focused on money and the ways that you can be more mindful of what you're spending. So, shopping. Be careful about, you know, your spending habits, because, you know, some people, when you do things excessively, usually it's stemming from a place of some type of deep-rooted issue, or, you know, psychological pain. And the things that we do, we tend to aim to do things that make us feel better. And so for some people, spending makes them feel good. You know, they buy a lot of stuff that they don't need. And so if you're one of those people, really start to think about the things that you buy, and if those things are really a part of your necessities, like your basic food, water, housing, you know, like shelter, those clothing, and then keep it simple on all of those levels, right? And so instead of buying Louis Vuitton bags and red bottoms, and, you know, you actually shop at the thrift store. Instead of buying Jordans for your children, you know, or yourself, you go to Target and get a Target brand tennis shoe. Oh, yes, I did say that. Yes, I did. There's some of you that are going to see this video and be like, oh, no, like, I am not going to be a Bama in these streets or whatever. But I'm telling you, when you get older, none of that mess matters, especially if you don't have a wealth consciousness and you're not stable financially, or you don't have financial freedom. Would you rather have Jordans on your feet and have to hustle a 9-to-5 and live paycheck to paycheck, or would you rather rock those the Walmart special, you know, and actually have, you know, 6 figures in the bank, or be making 7 figures a year because you're bossing up? I will take the thrift store, Walmart, and those kind of things in a minute, you know. So I know it's difficult for some people because, you know, a lot of people put a lot of money into their clothes. I had a conversation with somebody who's very near and dear to me, and he was like, I have to spend, I need to look good. I like to wear nice clothes because when I look good, I feel good about myself. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, like I understand. But do you have to spend that much though? Do you need to feel like you have designer clothes to feel good? Because you can still look nice and look groomed and people not really know where your clothes came from. Because, you know, I mean, some people are into that so they can spot it, but with the people that really have a wealth consciousness, they're going to shop at the thrift store. They're going to rock the Walmart special. They're going to go to Target. They're going to accept hand-me-downs. I think every day this week I wore something of my sister's when I broadcast. Because she had I was, you know, spending time in her house. And I said, well, let me go home and get some clothes. Got to get dressed. And, you know, she's like, oh, I have this, I have that. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Bring it on, you know what I mean? So, you know, hand-me-downs and things like that, you know, you're not too good. If you're trying to figure out how to save some money, those are the kind of things that you can do, you know? So I know with the kids, you might think, oh, I can't send my boy, or I can't send my kids to school with these type of things because they're going to get teased. Well, guess what? My kids go to school with thrift store clothes on. I've never bought a pair of Jordans. And they don't really get teased, and people that have messed with them, my kids' confidence is off the charts. You can't shake them. You can't shake them. So it's like my daughter, she refuses. She does not want to get her hair done, right? And I'm like, you should be more concerned about looking nice and being groomed. And she's like, no, I don't. All that matters is what I like. And I'm like, dag, she right. You know, it's like she's dropping jewels and, you know, reminding me of what's important. So trust me, if you're raising up your children the right way, they don't need a pair of Jordans to feel good or to fit in or to pull the girls and all of that. They're going to have their own swag. And even if people don't recognize that in middle school or high school, usually the people who have their glory days in high school and middle school are the people who are washed up later in life. So don't worry, any of you all that have, you know, been tortured when you were in that stage of your life, you probably know that you're shining now when the people back in the day that were teasing you are like either not alive or struggling, you know, looking crazy in these streets. So let's not have our confidence, let's not have our self-esteem tied into these external things. So spending money to feel good, clothes, food. So the food that you get, there are certain things where I don't want to get the generic version of certain foods because it really does taste different to me. But you think that if I had a goal to save money that I can't get the Giant brand versus the name brand, you know, I'm going to be able to make a decision like that easy, even if it goes against what I prefer. So what we need to learn is to get over our preferences, right? And start sacrificing, learning how to be uncomfortable, right? Be uncomfortable and sit with it for a minute. Let it sink in and still be able to move forward and do what you need to do. Okay? We're oftentimes concerned about getting comfortable, so we do what we think is the quickest thing to get comfortable, and that is spending, you know, sex, drugs, like all the kind of things, all the bad habits that people have, you know, when they're having issues. So when your issue happens to be spending, that's a big problem because you're going to keep yourself in a position to not be able to have financial freedom. You're not going to, it's going to be more, I'm not going to say you're not going to, it's going to be more difficult for you to save up that money or to get that lump sum. There are some people that have never had like, you know, $1,000 at any given moment. There are some people who have never had like over $10,000 in their bank account at any given time. Even less people that have had six figures in a bank account. And I'm not talking about your 401k. I'm talking about cash money, liquid. Not your home, not the value of assets, but cash money in the bank or wherever it is, liquid, six figures. A lot of people don't have that, but more people could if they would take this advice, right? Like instead of spending $5 to $7 on Starbucks every day, you can put that into the stock market. You can use Robinhood or some other platform, or just whatever, if you have a financial advisor or stockbroker, you can be putting that, because that could equal at least about $35 a week right there. Okay. I know I've gone over this before, and I'm not sure which video it was, but we talked about dating. And dating, I feel bad for my brothers, man. I feel bad for them, because if people are expecting the traditional way, when you go out, it's expected that the man pays. And so if you want to have a dating and social life, it's expensive for guys. You know, if you want to have a social life, it can be expensive, even when you're going out with your girls, right? Because you have to pay for yourself or whatever, you're treating your friends, whatever it might be. But in general, for men, you know, you might have to actually sacrifice that dating scene if you can't find yourself some people that are, you know, willing to go out and do things that are free or don't cost money. Because, you know, if you're going out, you don't want to half step. You don't want to take a girl to Applebee's. Well, let me not say that. That's rude, because there are probably people that will watch this and they think Applebee's is great. So I apologize. I shouldn't be that judgmental. But there are people who really will try to impress and make sure that the dates are like memorable. You know what I mean? And you find yourself spending easily like $200 at Ruth Chris Steakhouse because you want to be memorable and impressive. All I'm saying is, if you have a goal to save up money, then you need to forget about trying to impress that person and save that money up. You may have to sacrifice being on the dating scene, because you don't have really, when you're in boss mode, try to build, you don't have a lot of time for that anyway, because most of your time is going towards, you know, your business. If you have family, your kids, your family, so you're not going to have a lot of time for that anyway. But sacrifice, basically, you may have to just be lonely or sit at home and watch some Netflix, or just, you know, because you don't want to spend money frivolously when you have an aggressive goal. And what I want for most of you all to consider doing, if you're able, is to get aggressive with your spending habits. Get aggressive with your effort to save, because you'll be surprised at like how much you will start to save up when you cut out little things. Even like cable television. Cable television is ridiculous. You know, I don't know that it can be cheaper than $200. And then even when you go to watch something, they're still trying to charge you for each episode. So, and then you have like the Netflix, the Hulu account, the, you know, the Vulu, whatever. I mean, they have all these different things, right? And you're spending money, and you're like, oh, well, that's only $9.99, and then that's only $10.99. But when you add it all up at the end of the month, you're easily spending like $400 just on like cable and other little subscription things that you're not paying attention to. So one of the homework assignments that I assigned way back when I first started these videos, it was to look over the last 2 months of your bank statements and to look at every single purchase, see what that purchase was, and highlight the ones that were not absolutely necessary. And if you do that, you become more conscious, right? Because most people have the mindset where they're just going to swipe that card and spend until they don't have any more money, and they're anticipating their paycheck, right? That's going to come. And so a lot of times, a couple of days before that paycheck, that person is like, you know, on E, or even in the negative, right? And they're waiting for that paycheck. A lot of people are living that way and don't have to if they just make a few adjustments. So that's what I'm asking you all to do, is consider making some adjustments. Consider keeping more money in your pocket, because I don't know about you all, but what I learned is that nothing feels better to me as far as like spending, how I felt when I went and bought my car. No feeling has been better than the feeling I have now, knowing what I'm working on and what I'm working with. You know, like it feels good to know that if something were to happen, things wouldn't immediately like be a crisis. You know, there's some time there built in to try to figure out something else if other things were to go wrong. You know you're really doing well when if all your sources of income stop and you can still pay your bills for a year. I was told that was like somebody's definition of what being wealthy means. Of course, it's subjective. It's, a matter of opinion, how you define it. But that was a definition that I heard. If all of your sources of income were to stop abruptly, you would be able to continue paying all of your bills for a year. Can you do that? Can you do that now? Without exhausting your 401k or doing like an early withdrawal and getting the penalty and having to pay the taxes. Do you have that on hand or somewhere, like liquid? And if you don't, rethink how you're spending your money. And that sense of entitlement that a lot of people have, that they're entitled to enjoy the fruits of their labor, and they're going to spend, they're going to do this, they're going to do that because they work hard and that's what they're going to do. That is absolutely fine. Okay, but then you just have to accept that you may not achieve your financial goals as soon as you would like to. So, you might have to accept that you're not working towards financial freedom, that you're just content or complacent with how your situation is, and you have the mentality of a worker, not necessarily a boss. And that's not a problem as long as it's not a problem for you. If it's not a problem for you, it's not a problem for me. But for those that are trying to boss up, I'm here to tell you that you're going to have to lose the sense of entitlement and realize that you can't always have everything that you feel like you deserve. You can't do that. So what's more important? The feeling that you get knowing that you're paving the way for your children, their future. There's no greater feeling than that. So Jordans, red bottoms, hanging out, spending a lot of money, wearing flashy clothes, driving fancy cars. Those are the things that get us sidetracked. And I feel like those things have been strategically put in place to get us sidetracked, to keep the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, because, most of the money that's being spent is from the middle class and lower, for the spending dollars that are being spent. The rich are getting rich off of the middle class and lower. And so we have to consider that. We have to really look at it, and we have to make sure that we really evaluate who's responsible for our position in life. Who is responsible for the situation that you're in? Who's responsible for that? Instead of blaming external things, they may be valid, but at least step up and take responsibility. You are in the number one spot. You're in first place when it comes to the person who's responsible for the position that you're in. Okay, so we can talk about the system of oppression. We can talk about what other people have done to us. We can talk about all of that and be very valid. But let's first look at ourselves and what we're spending our money on, and try to figure out why it's taking so long to get to your goal. That's what I encourage you to do. And so being responsible financially is something that's really important to me. And I've realized that I don't actually want to hang with people who are not financially responsible. I didn't say I don't want to hang with people that aren't rich, but I don't want to hang with people that are not financially responsible. You don't have to have a lot of money, but you at least have to have a wealth consciousness. There's a difference. I don't fool with broke people. And broke people is defined by the mentality, not the amount of money that you have in the bank. Okay, so let's work on developing our wealth consciousness. Look at our spending habits, and really, really take heed to that. It's really important, and it's so easy to get off track, because even the other day when I went to get my hair done, and you know how you buy the bundles and you can reuse them if the quality of hair is good. Well, I had been reusing the same hair over and over again for several months. And it was getting to the point where the lady that does my hair was like, you have to buy at least one more bundle. The hair is thinning out. You need at least one bundle. And I was like, okay, how much is that going to be? And she was like, $180. And I was like, what? And that didn't even include the installation. And I already knew it, but it had been so long since I bought hair, because I was just determined to start saving money, because I would get new bundles like, every maybe few months. And for those of you ladies that know, 24-inch of some good hair is like 180 a bundle, and you might need 4 bundles, right? And then you have to pay like 150 or 200 to get it installed, and then if you want it colored, that's even more. So you leave the salon and you end up giving your beautician like $800, $900. Can't do that anymore. I have other goals. So I told her, because she was like, first she was encouraging me to get new hair, and I was like, no. But we worked it out. I did buy 1 bundle. I didn't buy all new hair, and we worked with what we had. So, I didn't have to do that, but I made that choice. And it wasn't an argument, but it literally was a back and forth between me and my hairdresser about the importance of, like, I'm telling her I have a goal, an objective goal, an actual dollar amount that I would like to save, that I'm looking at. And until I reach that goal, I'm going to be acting like I'm broke. And she was like, yeah, but your hair is an investment. And I was like, nah, that's what we've been conditioned to think, that our hair is an investment. No, because if it came down to it, I would walk around with my natural hair in a bush before I would be broke or spending my last dollars on bundles when I don't have money in the bank. The hair is not an investment. This does not add to your net worth. Okay? This is not a tangible asset. Okay? So in investing, this is called spending. Investing and spending are 2 different things. And Black women mostly, but even women in general, they are buying into this idea that you have to invest and put a lot of money into looking good. And I just feel like that we've been conditioned. We have been conditioned. That hair industry is like $1 billion industry, and rarely our women are the ones buying up the hair, and we're never the actual manufacturer or the provider of it, right? So we're never at the top of these companies that are really benefiting from this market, right? So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying you can't ever buy bundles. Clearly you see I got my bundles and I got color, right? But the point is that my old habits were different, right? So I switched. So I made sacrifices, and I worked with what I had and only did a little bit, right? So that's all I'm saying. Look at what you're doing and make some adjustments. I think you'll like the results if you're really serious about being in boss up mode. Okay? So I know that I've gone over my time. So I'm going to open up for Q&A now and see what you all have to say about this money management. And I'm going to go back and see who came in today to see me. Hey, Greg. Hey, Denise. Hey, Ron. Caudell. I think that's a new name. Sam Anderson. I think that's new. Hey, sis. Rockstack. He's been here before. Hassan. Hey. William. Hey, Tashawn. I don't know if you're still in here. Hey, Lonnie. Jonathan and Roxy. Hey, Roxy, if you're watching, I did shout you out at the beginning of this. If you can post your information for your dress, your handmade crochet dresses, and I don't know if you make other type of clothes, but if you could post the information if you're watching. I told everybody about the craftsmanship and the quality of the work that I saw, and how proud of you I was to see that you had turned that probably what used to be a hobby into something that can make money. So that's ultimately bossing up, in my opinion. So if you could put that information in there. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about how to like save up your money. Stop being a victim. Stop being a victim. Stop with the woe is me, the woe is us. We have to work with what we have, and we're in first place when it comes to how to change our lives. Any comments? I want to make sure I address any concerns. I wonder if those of you that end up watching this video, ask yourself, how much money did you spend this past weekend doing whatever you did? How much money did you spend just this past weekend? Today is Sunday. So from Friday to today, how much did you spend? And what did you spend it on? Look at those bank statements. I'm telling you, it's those little swipes that get you, man. Those little ones that you don't think about. You know how if you keep cash in your wallet, you can hardly keep it in there because you feel like you just keep chipping away at it. Same thing with those swipes. Hi, Charlene. Oh, what's that 0? 0 questions? Is that what that is? So who's going to make a sacrifice? Who's going to sacrifice something that they like so that they can have some extra money in their pocket? Your goal for tonight, your homework, is to think about one thing that you're going to sacrifice that would put more money in your pocket, that would save you money. Zero. How much you spent? Yep. I know it's true, because I've been with you most of the weekend. And guess what? When you busy, because you've been busy, when you keep busy in a productive boss up way, you do tend to spend less on frivolous things because you're busy. I don't know how much I spent this weekend, but it was not much. Not much at all. While we're asking ourselves these questions, ask yourself, how much money do you have in the bank right now? Do you even have a bank account? Do you have Cash App? What's in your Cash App balance? What's in your Venmo balance? If there is a such thing as a balance in Venmo. What's going on with your PayPal? What's going on with your thrift savings plan? How many early withdrawals have you done for foolishness? How much money did you spend on weed? How much money did you lose in the casino? How much money did you spend chasing that man and helping him pay his rent? How much did you spend chasing that woman? Oh, you got your hair done. That's true. Yeah. How much did you spend? Look in your closet. Look at your shoes. Do you have a lot of designer shoes? A lot of designer bags? What like if you had to add up what your clothes are worth, how much would it be? Remember, they're not assets. But if you add up like how much you spent on them, how much is your closet worth? And ask yourself, would you have preferred that been in a bank account somewhere? Got to think about these things. All right, well, I don't see any questions. I don't see many comments other than sis, so I will prepare to let you all go. You said, oh snap. What kind of car are you driving? What kind of car are you driving? How much gas did you spend running around here, there, everywhere partying this weekend? How much did you spend on alcohol? How much, how much did you spend on food? How much did you spend on getting beautiful? All my women that wear bundles, how much have you spent on bundles in the past 12 months? How much have you spent on eyelashes in the past 12 months? How much have you spent on MAC makeup or Sephora or any of those? Yeah, I know people are silently answering these questions. They're answering these questions, and I hope that you're not disgusted with yourself when you do the math. Okay. So you all have the goal. You have what the homework is. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with me being late. I really appreciate that. I know we only have 2 days left. Please inbox me if you have topics you want me to talk about the last 2 days of the challenge. Keeping in mind that I will still be live streaming. It just won't be every day after the challenge is over. So please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is called Business Builder Basics. If this is your first time tuning in, all of the videos are archived, so you can go on my Facebook page. All of the videos are public, even though my profile is private. And then I'm going to get YouTube caught up, but I think up to day 22 is on YouTube. So you can always go back. You can either start at day 1 or you can finish up with us for the next 2 nights and then go back to day 1. If you want to do the Boss Up Challenge, you can. You didn't have to start on day 1, but just make sure that you cycle through all of them and listen to all of the talks, the messages within the first 20 minutes. Even if the video is like 90 minutes long, don't worry about that. Most of that is Q&A at the end, but all you need is the first 20 minutes. And watch all those videos, and that's going to help you to boss up. Okay, so boss up. Let's focus on bossing up. All right, y'all have a good night.